Hello, welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, episode 80. Hello, welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 89. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. You got there.
We got it. We got it good.
Yep. I'm proud of you that time.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, Shaun, what are we talking about?
Dude, I went through 80 some episodes saying it one way. Now to change up how I'm saying it fucks me up.
And I bet you it's not going to be the last time we change.
No. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Growing pains. We are talking about Habits, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Specifically. You finished the book?
I finally finished the book.
Golf clap.
Thank you. I really needed that. It has been about an 8-month journey of me reading this.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So it was a really good book. Really, really good. I like to take notes on my lovely reading so I can look at them later. And it makes, podcasting about the books a lot easier too.
Absolutely.
I will say the reason this book took so long is not because it was boring. It was all me. It was just laziness and I started reading it when Shaun and I were getting up early last summer. And just reading our business books every morning while we drink coffee. But then we switched to going to the gym early in the mornings.
Yep.
So when we did that switch, I kind of fell off the train of reading business books for 6 months.
Yeah.
But now I figured it out and how to put it in my schedule again, so we're back on the train.
Just gotta wake up earlier.
Hell yeah.
When do you want to put yours into reading more?
Oh, I've been reading mine at night. I read about 10 pages of my business book at night after I journal, and then I switch to my fun book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't do that.
At night, I read about 1 to 3 pages of the book I like, and then I fall asleep. Mm-hmm. And that's why in the mornings, I have to journal. And some mornings, if I'm feeling up to it, I'll read. But I think that's a habit stacker I'm going to start doing. Is I'm going to just because I'll drink my coffee and journal slowly. But I could whip out journaling in 5 minutes. Instead, I let it take 20 minutes while I drink coffee slow.
Yeah.
So I could knock out journaling in 5 minutes, then I could read and just stack that habit.
I will say this is a book I wish I would have read in college. Or before college. Yeah. For sure. Obviously, there's still some very good things in it. Especially I think one of the main habits I'm going to try and get rid of is being on my phone as much.
Dude, we've been talking about that for 2 years.
I know we have. And this book told me it's not necessarily my fault that we haven't done it. Because we've always said it's because, if you don't work towards it, then you don't really want it. Mm-hmm. But how he says it is we're not taking the right steps. We're not using the right system to get rid of the habit.
I will back that up with this. Most people say this phrase, must be nice. And they say it in regards to people doing something successfully, well, somebody inherits money, or somebody goes out and makes a lot of money, whatever it is, must be nice.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the people saying must be nice who aren't wealthy, don't have whatever it is that the other person has that they want, it's not that they don't want that thing and aren't working towards it. They clearly want that thing.
Right.
They clearly want whatever it is that must be nice.
Right.
They just haven't put in the systems in their life to reach that thing.
Correct.
So, yeah, that's very good. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot.
So, this was a very long book, and there's so much information in it. So we're kind of going to just go off a lot of the notes that I wrote. It shouldn't really... We'll expand on some of it. But
as long as we go through the 4 steps, Or the 4?
The 4 laws?
4 laws, that's all that matters.
Babe, do.
Hey, I will say this.
What?
About habits. I think if you utilize them correctly, you could bring your, like, amount of time you're doing shit in the day down significantly.
Mm-hmm. He talks about that too. Like, if your habits are really good and your mind is at, like, the perfect level, he talks about, like, how then you're in the flow state.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because I never have heard about the flow state until about, like, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And everyone who talks about, like, being productive and, like, whatever, like, they always say, like, you have to try and get into the flow state where your brain is just working at the most optimal levels.
Right.
And even with habits, like he says, you can get into that flow state with good habits. Right. And I was like, that's really cool. I don't think I have any notes on that, but if you read the book, guys, you can get it. I also highly suggest, he has a website, and in his book, he has, like, links to, like, certain things. If you go to atomichabits.com/cheat sheet, it gives you a whole bunch of, like, printable resources that you can use as well. So I have them all printed right here. There's even a bonus chapter, which I didn't actually get to read, about how to apply these ideas to business.
Okay.
And that's, like, actually really long. I think it's, like, 18 pages.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool. But, yeah, he has... The main thing we're probably going to go over is the 4 laws of good habits. He has some templates that will be really good. You can even actually he has an Atomic Habits journal. Mm-hmm. So in there is a habit tracker, 1 line per day. So he says you should write, like, something every day. Which, Shaun, I mean, like, I think it's kind of similar to, like, our gratitudes. Ooh, we didn't do our gratitudes yesterday. Anyways.
I know. I haven't done it today yet either.
But,
man.
So, yeah, he has a journal. I don't know how much it is, but he does have a journal.
I will tell you, it's a lot harder for me to follow my schedule and shit on a weekend than Monday through Friday.
Do you think that's our fault, or just because you're either at the office or you're either here instead of, like, at an actual workplace?
I think it's us. I think it's partially us and partially, like, the stigma of a weekend. The stigma of a weekend's for chilling.
Yeah, and I think this weekend was worse because we just slept in.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. We slept in yesterday and today.
Which I will say, it did feel so good. My body feels so good and rested, but...
Unacceptable.
It is bad. Yeah, that's a tip he gives. It's okay to miss a habit one day, but when you miss it a second day, it starts to become a new habit.
So that's what I'm saying, dude. Sleeping in 2 days in a row is unacceptable.
Yep.
Like, dude.
Okay, babe, let's start this.
Let's get after it.
Okay, so the first quote that I wrote, success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations.
Say it again.
Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations.
100%.
100%. That's, like, one of my favorite things, and he kind of goes off on that quite a bit throughout the whole book. Forget about goals, focus on systems instead. Forget about goals, focus on systems instead.
Yeah.
So winners and losers have the same goal.
Yes.
And achieving a goal is only a momentary change.
Okay.
Goals restrict your happiness. Goals are at odds with long-term progress.
Okay.
So I should really actually find this in the book. It was really interesting because I told you about it too, Shaun. I think it was one of the first things I actually flagged in here, maybe. Do you remember anything about this?
That winners and losers have the same goal?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just one of the people is taking daily action to reach it.
Here we go. We concentrate on the people who end up winning, the survivors, and mistakenly assumed the ambitious goals led to their success, while overlooking all of the people who had the same objective but didn't succeed.
Right.
So you have to think every Olympic athlete, their goal is to win gold.
Yes.
But only one person will get that.
Right. And that's typically the person who's on the most steroids, right?
Sometimes.
Okay. I think it has a lot to do with the action they take and the work they put in.
So that could be the thing. The difference between the person who won versus the 20 people that lost is that winner could have put in an extra hour of, weight training or an hour of mental toughness, anything to improve themselves more than the people who didn't win.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So he says these are all problems with goal setting.
Okay.
So winners and losers have the same goal.
Right.
Achieving a goal is only a momentary change.
Correct.
Goals restrict your happiness.
Okay.
And goals are at odds with long-term progress. So,
goals restrict happiness.
Yep.
And goals are at odds
with long-term progress.
Okay.
Because most people, in order to achieve those goals, don't set up systems or habits to get to those goals.
Okay.
And so by focusing on goals instead of the system to get to those goals, you're not really improving yourself.
Right.
Right? You're just achieving an end goal.
Yep.
So you and I, for our 12-week goal, or one of our 12-week goals, we were trying to post on Instagram more. Mm-hmm. And we didn't develop a system to do it. So we, one, didn't even achieve the goal.
Right.
And two, we didn't develop a habit to post more on Instagram.
Right. Right.
So just from having those goals,
nothing happened.
Correct.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, about the 12-week year shit, is that we never did anything to time block or
we never put it in our schedule.
Right. To hey, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m., it doesn't matter. We work on our 12-week year.
Correct.
And we just didn't do that. We put it in the 12-week year and we figured, we got to accomplish these each week. And we had each week's task.
Yeah.
But we never put each week's task in the calendar.
Correct.
So it never got done. That also leads to, and this part is hard, if you put something in your calendar and then something else pops up, unless it's emergency, you have to just say no.
Correct.
And that's tough. That's really tough. Mm-hmm. Because it'd be like, friend wants to grab a drink, or your mom wants to grab a drink, or whatever.
Right.
Or hang out, and you'd be like, no, I have to go spend an hour in the office. That's so difficult to do.
Oh, yeah.
And then those people are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You can't spare 1 hour? Actually, no, I can't. Mm-hmm. Because if you do it once, then it starts to spiral out of control.
100%.
And then you do it next week and the next week. It's fucking, dude, this
that's why I kind of liked how we did yesterday, how we both knew all these things we needed to do. And we're like, okay, we want to go to this event, so that event is our reward if we actually get everything done. Mm-hmm. And it kind of pushed us. I mean, you and I actually worked really hard in the office for 2 hours yesterday.
I got everything I could get done / needed to get done. Done.
Correct.
Now, everything else, like cleaning the fucking office, I got to do today.
Yep.
Paying bills.
Okay, next. There's a lot of notes, Shaun.
All right, let's keep going. Come on, guys. Quit interrupting me.
There's 3 layers of behavior change.
All right.
So changing your outcomes is the first layer. Changing your process is the second layer. Changing your identity is the third layer.
Okay.
Got any questions on those?
No.
Do you think I need to expand on that?
For 30 seconds.
I mean, so your outcome is, your goals you set, the results you want. So losing weight, publishing a book, winning a championship.
Okay.
Those are your outcomes.
Okay.
Your process is the implementing a new routine, decluttering your desk for a better workflow, developing a meditation practice. And then your identity is changing your beliefs, your worldview, your self-image, your judgments about yourself and others.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
So those are the 3 layers of behavior change. So the process of building habits is actually the process of becoming yourself.
Okay.
Because at the end of it, you should be changing your identity. You should be able to say, I am an organized and productive person.
I am a reader.
Correct. Just like that. So there's 4 stages of habits.
Okay.
So this is like what you go through every time you have a habit. Ooh, I know there is. Here we go. The signs of how habits work. So you have a cue.
Okay.
That cue gives you a craving.
Okay.
That craving makes you have a response. And then that response gives you a reward.
Okay.
So a cue would be seeing my phone on the table. My craving would be needing to go on my phone.
Correct.
By going on, or to fill that craving, I go to my phone and turn it on. Open up an app. And as a reward, I get like a slight dopamine hit.
Every time you scroll your goddamn phone.
100%.
Okay.
So you get to try and break that.
Okay.
And, oh man, it's been so long since I read this chapter. Basically, you need to try and make it so it's unappealing.
To
So, like,
break one, it needs to be unappealing to break a habit.
Right.
Yeah.
So you heard what that guy was saying at the end.
Yeah.
And honestly, the thing is so you can have the same cue and craving. So the cue and craving is the problem phase. The solution phase is response and reward.
Okay.
So let's say you have that cue and craving of seeing your phone and wanting to go on it. But if you mentally change it where you're just like, if I don't go on my phone, I'm going to be proud of myself for not going on my phone.
Okay.
So that you have to change your response to be in a more positive way. And it just takes like setting habits or the 4 laws of how to create good habits. So you have to, like, one way to break a bad habit is to not make it obvious.
Okay.
So if you don't see your phone, you don't have that cue or craving.
Right.
Which makes it easier to not go on your phone.
Right.
So it's just these like mental little shifts behind those 4 steps. The habit loop is also what they call it.
Okay.
Did that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay. Let's see. So, when a habit successfully addresses a motive, you develop a craving to do it again. Habits are attractive when we associate them with positive feelings.
Yep.
And you can change it to, you don't have to, you get to.
Yes.
So,
dude, I hear that a lot.
I don't have to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym.
Yeah, that's tough. That's like when people say, hey, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, I have to do this. You say it as in like it's an obligation, but in reality, you're wanting to do that.
Right. And by making things more positive, like let's say you're trying to go to the gym, right? Like you're trying to get yourself to go. Instead of saying, I have to go to the gym, you have to change it to a positive thing of, I get to go to the gym. Because then that already gives like your brain like a positive motion to go do it. So like you can also change I am nervous to I am excited. So that's something I should have done when we went to Hawaii surfing. Because I was very not excited for it. And I should have mentally just kept telling myself like, I'm not nervous, I'm excited.
Dude, that's how I felt about cliff jumping. Fuck.
And you liked it.
Cliff jumping was gangster.
Yeah.
But it was sketchy as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's go into these habit laws.
Literally my 2 favorite things. Dark water and heights.
Mm-hmm.
Just love it.
And I was proud of you.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go into these laws.
Yeah.
So there's 4 laws, and each law also has an inverse law. Which, does he have? Yes, he does have the inversions. So the first law is make it obvious.
Okay. What are we making obvious?
What are we making obvious?
Yeah.
So this is creating good habits.
Okay.
So he tells you to fill out a habit scorecard. So you write down your current habits to become aware of them. So this is the habit scorecard.
Okay.
So with each habit, you get to write if it's positive, negative, or neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like towards yourself.
Okay.
Like, is it a positive habit? Is it a negative habit? Is it just a whatever habit?
Right. To track your habits, see how often you do them, to see what kind of person you are.
Right. And to see what habits you should focus on
yep.
and which habits to get rid of.
Yep.
Use implementation intentions. So I will do this behavior at blank time and location.
Mm-hmm.
So Shaun and I saying we will go to the gym at 6:30 a.m. at 3D Fitness tomorrow. 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
tomorrow at 3D Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already telling yourself, I am going to go do that.
Right.
Use habit stacking. I like habit stacking. Habit stacking is probably one of my favorite ones.
Right.
So after current habit, I will do the new habit. So the example that Shaun just listened to, he says, well, I guess, his is stacking. So after I drink my coffee, I will read my business book.
Mm-hmm.
So every morning, Shaun and I drink our coffees. So if you're already doing one habit, that I would say drinking coffee is probably a neutral habit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier to then add a new habit on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can keep going too. You can build 3, 4, 5 habits in a row that way.
Mm-hmm.
And he also suggests doing little amounts at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to change your whole habit life.
Right.
Do one at a time. Because it's not going to be overwhelming if you're just adding one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to if you're adding 5 things every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing is design your environment, make the cues of good habits obvious and visible. So mine have been, I have my business book and my planner now on my nightstand.
Yeah.
So I've gone in a good ritual of journaling every night.
Yeah.
So now, after I journal, I look at my schedule for tomorrow and write what I need to do in my planner for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read my business book because they're all right there.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything you do, like, or what habit do you want to add? We can, go through this whole thing with one habit that you want to add.
Well, I would just add, so every morning I get up and I drink a cup of coffee while I journal. So I would just add reading a business book.
Oh, yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
I realize I skipped 2 whole pages of my notes.
Jeebus.
That's okay. It goes into what we're going into anyways.
Okay.
Ooh, I like this. Pointing and calling out. Point out your bad habits and say what you are doing out loud. This will help you realize what you are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when you're about to go on your phone, you need to say, I'm going on my phone. Because once you say it out loud, it's going to be unattractive.
Uh-huh.
Which is the 4th law? Nope, 2nd law. The 2 most common cues are time and location. We are more likely to notice cues if they stand out. Make cues for good habits obvious. And let's see. Your habits become associated with an entire context surrounding the behavior. It's easier to build new habits in a new environment because you are not fighting against old cues.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious if, like, us moving into a different house will help us change habits.
It could.
Right, like, because that would be the best time to associate
Rooms.
We could be like, oh, this is a new house. We want to keep it clean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would definitely work. I think you break it up like upstairs is the office, the bedroom's for sleeping, the living room's for relaxation and watching TV. So we're not going to try to get work done while we're in the living room.
Right.
You just chill. The
So then maybe we can maybe change it to where we don't do office work on the dining room table.
Right. Yeah, no office. And so it'd be like the porch. So I knew how, like, a porch would be where you have your morning coffee and
Business book. Yeah.
For this house, we could do like the upstairs room is for journaling, coffee, and business book.
Yeah.
Is upstairs. And so that way, like, the dining room table isn't related to any of that.
It's only related to eating.
Right.
Yeah.
Dining room table's for eating. Kitchen's for kitchen shit. Downstairs is for the office, for here. Bedroom sleeping, living room's chilling. Upstairs is reading, journaling.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. They actually, honestly, they talked about that in, like, the minimalist book. Is like different environments are for different things. And if you have something out in one environment, you have to put it away before you can bring out the next thing. So, like, if you have a small space and your dining room was for eating and your office, your dining room is office and eating, right? Because you got a small house. You could not eat until you put your office away. You cannot office until you put your food away.
I like that.
Yeah, and so, like, the minimalist shit says a very similar thing, like environment based on a thing, but if you are down to small space, you have to differentiate between that.
Yeah, I really like that. And I've always heard too to never have your office in your bedroom. Because your bedroom is associated with sleeping and relaxation.
Right.
So you're going to be way less productive if you're in the room that you associate with sleeping.
So maybe you don't journal, calendar, read your business book in bed.
I really shouldn't.
You should not.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, second law. Make it attractive. So use temptation bundling. Pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. Drinking coffee with reading your business book.
Okay.
Does that make reading your business book more attractive?
Dude, I look forward to waking up at 5 a.m. to drink coffee.
100%.
I didn't want to do nothing else. I just like, fuck, dude, that coffee's going to taste good in the morning.
So if you associate your coffee with your business book, your business book will be something you look forward to in the morning.
Absolutely.
Join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. We have 2 of those.
Okay.
Mastermind and Whiskeria. Because a lot of the people in our groups read very similar books to us, actually. The Last Retreat read, the Atomic Habits book came up as one of the resources someone used. So yeah, that's a very good culture.
Yes.
Did you have more to that?
No.
Okay. Create a motivation ritual. Do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit.
Say it again.
Create a motivation ritual. Do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit.
Okay.
So drinking coffee is your motivation to read your business book. So it's a motivation ritual.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I'm trying to think of another thing to pair with. Like, what do I enjoy? I mean, I enjoy building Legos. But what can I associate building Legos with? Listening to a business podcast.
Yes.
There you go. So while I'm building Legos, I should be listening to business podcasts.
Yeah.
There we go.
Or you like listening to those damn Twitch retards. So you only get to listen to retarded Twitch people when you work out.
Only when I work out?
Only.
I'm not going to be able to catch up then.
It doesn't matter. You got to work out more. 3 hours a day then.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing to that one.
I'm just saying it's another way to do it.
I like what you say. Okay, the third law. Make it easy.
Dude, if I could only listen to podcasts when I'm working out, I would train like 3 hours a day.
But how much of it would you just be slacking off at the gym then? Because you're at the gym for 3 hours.
2 hours. I'd be slacking off.
Correct. So then you're just not at home or not doing other things.
Right.
That is something he does say is habits can be good, but they can also hinder you.
Right.
Third law, make it easy. Reduce friction, decrease the number of steps between you and your good habits. I realized I should have looked at my notes just in case. Yep. So reduce friction, decrease the number of steps between you and your good habits.
Okay.
Prime the environment. Prepare your environment to make future actions easier. So cleaning your desks every couple of days makes it easier to clean your desk. It makes it easier to do office work.
Yes.
How often do you not want to do office work because your desk is messy?
Every day.
There we go. Master the decisive moment. Optimize the small choices that deliver outsized impact. So this one was the 1% rule that I really liked. So improving yourself by 1% every day stacks up slowly and goes up exponentially. But by not improving yourself, I think you go back like 3%.
Mm-hmm.
So by improving yourself just the tiniest bit is better than not doing anything. Because by not doing anything, you're actually going back 3%.
That is the same exact thing in business.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not consistently trying to grow and get better and build, you're regressing.
Mm-hmm. And you're regressing more than
You would be progressing.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah, progressing by 1%.
When they say 1 step forward, 2 steps back,
That's a thing.
it is a thing. But I liked what he said towards the end of the book. He compares it to like sand in like an hourglass, right? So let's say you have 2 cups, right? Like you have the cup of sand and you have the steps you've taken to improve yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's empty. Let's say you take 1 grain of sand and put it in there every single day.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think it'll take you to notice that there is quite a bit of sand in that glass?
A long fucking time.
I mean, a long time. But at some point, you will associate that you have made an improvement.
Right.
Okay, I think you'll vibe with this one more.
I see what you're saying on the last one. It's just a long time.
Yes. But how about this? So let's say you give a person 10 coins.
Okay.
And then every day you give them a new coin.
Okay.
When they have 10 coins, you don't associate them as rich.
Right.
But at some point, by giving them 1 coin every single day,
Mm-hmm.
eventually 1 coin will associate them from being not rich to rich.
Right.
Does that make more sense?
That does make sense.
Mm-hmm. So at some point, you have to be like, I am better. And it could be just the difference of a grain of salt, a 1%.
Yep.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense.
I love that. Use the 2-minute rule. Downscale your habits until they can be done in 2 minutes or less. I liked this. Shaun did not like this. So, 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Example. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Because if you start that habit, how many times are you just going to take out the yoga mat and not actually do yoga?
Right.
So like you and I, we really want to start rolling out more.
Right.
So if we just took out the mats and the rollers, what are the odds we're not going to roll out?
Pretty high. Right.
So he says if you can't learn the basic skill of showing up, then you have little hope of mastering the finer details.
Well, I can tell you the amount of times I showed up at the gym that didn't work out, I think was probably 2 to 3 times. in 13 years.
Correct. So he even says, like to start off, like for the gym, to start off with just putting your gym shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you master that, right, like let's say you don't actually go to the gym still.
Mm-hmm.
But once you do that enough times and eventually you're like, why am I just putting on my gym shoes and not going to the gym?
Mm-hmm.
Then he says, then drive to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many times are you going to drive to the gym and not actually go in the gym?
Really, only a couple.
100%.
Yeah.
So I just think I just like the whole idea of it. Like, it's so simple and stupid, but yet at the same time you're just like, oh shit, yeah, if I took out the mat and foam roller, I'm gonna roll out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a simple little like change that could change the whole, or start the whole habit.
Right.
Oh yeah, because there's something about action versus motion. Motion doesn't produce an outcome. Action does. Motion makes us feel like we're making progress, so it causes delay, failure. You don't need to map out every feature of a new habit. You just need to practice.
Okay.
I like it. Okay, the last part of make it easy.
Okay.
Automate your habits. Invest in technology and one-time purchases that lock in future behavior. I think that is something that's really important with business.
Say it again.
Automate your habits. Invest in technology and one-time purchases that lock in future behavior.
Yeah. Dude, that's QuickBooks. Mm-hmm. QuickBooks kind of sucks in essences, right? But it's so much easier to go onto that stupid fucking thing once a week, approve transactions, than it is to put it in a spreadsheet and do all that shit.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think, too, like, if you're going to start a business, you should get in the practice of what systems you're going to use before you start hiring people, or even if you have hired a couple people. It's going to be a lot easier to put that system in place when you only have 5 employees than when you have 40 employees.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's so true.
Mm-hmm. And think how much more time it is. Like, I think about my workplace, and if we had to implement, like, our inventory system now, like, let's say we never had one, and we had to do it now,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be miserable.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It'd be awful.
Absolutely.
Okay, the 4th law. Make it satisfying.
Okay.
Use reinforcement. Give yourself an immediate reward when you complete your habit. I'm trying to think of a good, like, example for that. What do you got? What do you think? Ooh, I know, actually.
Okay.
Streaks.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're obsessed with streaks. As you can tell, I'm not used to my glasses being in my face, and I keep hitting my microphone. Yeah. Shaun has done Duolingo for how many days?
790 or something like that.
And why haven't you stopped?
Because I've made it 790 days.
And you need to complete that streak.
Right. Yeah, if I miss, then I lose it. Fuck that.
And if you missed, do you think you would start again or no?
Fuck no, dude. You kidding me? It take fucking over 2 years? Hell no. That shit's time.
Yeah. So, there is a reward. It's just seeing that streak go up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he does. Okay. Make doing nothing enjoyable. When avoiding a bad habit, design a way to see the benefits. So, instead of going on your phone, just sit there and do nothing. But, like, make it enjoyable. So, like, daydream about what your future house could look like.
Mm-hmm.
Daydream about what car you're going to drive next.
Mm-hmm. I do that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Instead of going on your phone and looking at useless content.
Right. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I love that.
The only issue is once you start thinking of cars, then you're going to want to go on Facebook to look at cars.
That is a massive flaw.
But I mean, I guess you do have some money in our account to buy a car with.
Dom, honestly.
I mean, we already discussed this, though. We're now at the point, right, where instead of buying a $10,000 car, we want to buy a $20,000 to $40,000 car.
No. 70. We talked about it.
So then why are you looking at cars when we can't get that right now?
I don't fucking know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know.
Even Mimi's frustrated.
I hate my life. I love my life. I think about that shit too goddamn much.
So instead, though, of, looking at these cars you can't get.
Right.
And going on Facebook.
Right.
Just daydream about the cars that, daydream about yourself riding in the country in the car that you want to be driving in. Because now, by doing that, then you'll be able to actually realize what car you truly want.
When I do stuff like that, and you visualize it, you start to realize what car you want, and you start to put together what it'll take to get to that car.
Right.
Like, I know to get to that car would be 3 flips, and I could own that.
Mm-hmm.
Or one rental, or like a couple rentals bringing me $1,000 a month.
Right.
Like, those 2 things can get me that.
But so you looking at other cars on Facebook and just feeling that urge, that craving,
right,
isn't going to help you get that car.
That
because
is not going to help me get that car.
Instead of saving your money to get the car that you really want, you're going to probably spend your money on some other car that you're going to eventually realize, I don't really want this.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next one. Use a habit tracker. Keep track of your habit streak and don't break the chain. So this is a good way to keep track of your streaks.
Okay.
And one thing I like that he does that I've never done before, actually, is at the end of the year, or even at the end of the month, he counts how many times he did things. So, because he also does an annual review that he answers 3 questions.
Okay.
It's on his website, if anyone's curious what they are. I think it's what things am I proud of that I did, what can I do to be better, and what things did I not accomplish or something.
Okay.
So, and he posts his personal annual reviews on his website, which I think is really neat. His 2019 one of the things he was upset about was how he realized he wasn't able to work out as much with being on the road because he was touring for his book release.
Mm-hmm.
And on his thing, he put in there every month and how many times he worked out.
Yeah.
And he was able to do that by having a habit tracker.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was really neat.
Mm-hmm.
And it really makes you... So I like to do that at the end of the month. Just, look at all the things, all the habits I was able to, keep up with.
Right.
And I do a monthly review and put in there, what... We also have it in our planners, too, weekly reviews.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go off of, what did I improve on? What didn't I improve on? Why didn't I improve on this? What can I do next month to make it better?
Right.
It's really good just to reflect on those things.
Mm-hmm.
And having a habit tracker, it's a lot easier to reflect on your habits.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Never miss twice. When you forget to do a habit, make sure you get back on track immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. So those are the 4 laws. Let's see, what else do we have? Don't let losses eat into your compounding. Don't let losses eat into your compounding.
Okay.
So that's kind of the 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yep.
Or I told Shaun, if you have $100 and you make 50% profit, you get up to $150.
Mm-hmm.
But to get back to that 100, it only has to be a 33% loss. How crazy is that?
Say it again.
So if you have $100,
Yeah.
If you have a 50% profit, you get up to 150.
Okay.
But with the 33% loss, you're back down to 100.
Yes. Yep.
So that's the 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yep.
And then, how to pick the right habit for you. Make it easy and explore and exploit trade-off. So they say to try new habits, right? Because it's all a biological personality thing. Some habits just aren't going to work for some people.
Like some people just aren't people to get up early in the morning.
Right.
Yep.
Like some people are just night owls.
Right.
And there's no
Is that
point.
you? What do you think? You think you're more of a morning person or a night person?
I don't know. I think I'm in between.
Huh.
But they say to like explore different habits, right? To like suit your lifestyle or suit like what you need.
Right.
And this is my other favorite thing. Professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way.
Yeah. Fuck, that's so true.
Mm-hmm.
We are amateurs.
We are definitely amateurs.
Amateur hour over here.
Yep.
Fuck, dude, that's tough. Life sucks, dude. We need to get rid of life.
Yep. Okay, so that was how to create a good habit.
Okay.
Here are the inversion of all the laws on how to break a bad habit.
Okay.
So the first one is make it invisible. Reduce exposure. Remove the cues of your bad habits from your environment.
Don't have your phone sitting out. Put it in a drawer.
Put it on silent.
Yep.
Make it unattractive. Reframe your mindset. Highlight the benefits of avoiding your bad habits.
Okay.
So, I mean, like we've talked about it, like not being on your phone is going to make you more productive.
Make you more productive.
So just saying, like, if I go on my
Make it unattractive, yeah, on your phone. If people,
people are losers if they go on their phone.
People are losers if they mindlessly scroll.
Yep.
Absolutely. I'm lazy if I'm on my phone.
Yep.
Yep.
And, like, say that out loud when you go on your phone.
I am lazy.
Yeah. Because it's going to make you not want to go on your phone.
Right. I'm a loser. Fuck, dude. Make you sit on that all day long.
Mm-hmm. Make it difficult. Increase friction. Increase the number of steps between you and your bad habits. So putting it in a drawer. You have to open the drawer.
Put it in a drawer. Delete the apps. Delete all apps.
Yeah.
So you have to go to the internet to go to Instagram. Holy shit, that would suck.
Yeah. Use a commitment device. Restrict your future choices to the ones that benefit you. So, like, we have our app detox.
Yep.
So, our phones restrict us on how long we can aimlessly scroll on our apps.
Yep.
Which that helps.
Big time.
I wish it, like, when the thing would go off, right? Like, when the 10 minutes or whatever we have goes off, it pops up a screen that says, you're a loser.
That'd be so awesome.
So awesome.
Oh, God, I'd love that.
Inversion of law 4 is make it unsatisfying. Get an accountability partner. Ask someone to watch your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Create a habit contract. Make the costs of your bad habits public and painful. So he actually gives you one in his in all the things to print off.
Okay.
Here we go. Habit contract. Does it actually tell you what? Oh, here we go. I'm going to read the story of this person.
Okay.
Oh, does it actually tell me what? Okay, so Brian Harris, an entrepreneur from Nashville, Tennessee, was the first person I saw put this strategy into action. Shortly after the birth of his son, Harris realized he wanted to shed a few pounds. He wrote up a habit contract between himself, his wife, and his personal trainer. The strategy worked, with his wife and trainer acting as accountability partners, and with the habit contract clarifying exactly what to do each day, Harris lost the weight. So this is the contract. So he had goals for every quarter, and he could change his goals throughout the whole contract. But he couldn't change... He could change the consequences, but only if it, like, made them worse.
Okay.
So I think he wanted to eat correctly, and let's see here. Q1 is to start eating correctly again so he feels better, looks better, and is able to hit his BHAG of 200 pounds at 10% body fat. Yeah. So phase 1, get back to a strict slow-carb diet, start strict macro tracking program in Q2. So let's see here. So his objective, write down all food that he consumes each day and weigh himself each day. The food log must be completed by 6 a.m. of the day after. The weigh-in can happen at any point during the day, optionally first thing in the morning. If Brian doesn't do these 2 items, then the following consequences will be enforced. So these are Q1 consequences. He will have to dress up each workday and each Sunday morning for the rest of the quarter. I don't know what he did for a job, but he must not have had to dress up. Dress up is defined as not wearing jeans, t-shirts, hoodies, or shorts.
Dude, that would suck. Right? Like, you just used to go into work comfy all day, and you have to go there in a suit, and everyone's like, why are you wearing a suit?
And Sunday morning.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So accountability. So Brian will be held accountable for the following means. He will text Stacy a picture of his weight each day and ask Joey, his trainer, to monitor his eating logs. He will also give Joey $200 to use as he sees fit if he misses 1 day of logging food.
Oh my God.
$200.
Dude, that is significant.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was crazy with it. Like, way crazier than I think he should.
Well, dude, but you got to think about it. Say it was $20.
Right? You're not going to do it.
It wouldn't mean anything.
Right?
Like, oh, Kyle, if I fuck this up, I got to give you $20. I just be like, here, take the $20 every day, whatever. Leave me alone. But $200, dude, that's a full day of work.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You give up $200 once, you are really going to question doing that again.
Are you ready?
Holy shit.
Are you ready for Q2?
Oh my God.
Do you want me to just go with the consequences?
No. What are we doing?
So, Q2 objectives are as follows. Eat food that adds up to a total of no more than 75 grams of carbs and no less than 200 grams of protein each day.
Dude, he got strict.
Yeah. So, this is quarter 2, right? Quarter 1 was like working up to it, and this is quarter 2. And I'm pretty sure
You have to keep doing everything from quarter 1 into quarter 2.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure at the end of quarter 1, he actually, was able, so this is an updated one, because he blew, all of his expectations and, went above and beyond, in quarter 1.
Sure.
So this, he upped the stakes at the end of quarter 1. So he has to weigh in at each day that I am at home and run wind sprints for 5 minutes 1 day a week.
Okay.
The food log must be completed by 8:30 a.m. of the day after. The weigh-in can happen at any point during the day, optimally first thing in the morning. The wind sprints ideally will happen on Saturday morning, but can be done any day of the week.
Okay.
So if Brian doesn't do these 3 items, then the following consequences will be enforced. Macro goal. $100 to Patrick for each day he misses. He gets 6 pass days.
Okay.
Weigh-in goal. So if he doesn't make his weigh-in goal, he has to pay his wife $500.
Okay.
Wind sprints. So if he doesn't do those, he has to dress up for work every day and wear an Alabama hat rest of the quarter. So this guy lived in Louisiana, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so Alabama was
their number 1 rival.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was quarter 2.
Okay.
I don't remember if I read the other quarters, but
I wish we fucking knew how this guy did at the end.
I'm pretty sure he succeeded throughout everything.
Didn't miss?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
Oh yeah, there's accountability things. So he had groups.
Sure.
Whatever. Quarter 3. So. Oh yeah, because he wanted to lose. Oh yeah. So he has phase 4 as walk around naked. I think it was because he wasn't comfortable in his body.
Sure.
So he wanted to be comfortable in his body.
Sure.
And I think he meant
in his house.
Right, but no, be able to walk around shirtless and be fine and happy.
Okay.
So maintain quarter 3. Brian will maintain the following even as he adds new goals: less than 75 grams of carbs, more than 200 grams of protein per day, 1 hour strength training 3 days per week, weigh and measure body fat daily. So new things. So he has the above things, and then he has to do 10 minutes of HIIT bike riding on Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay.
Intermittent fasting on non-strength training days, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
Brian doesn't do these 5 items, the following consequences will be enforced. Macro goal, $100 to Patrick for each day he misses. He only gets 3 pass days.
Okay.
Weigh-in and body fat goal, $100 to Patrick for each day he misses. 3 pass days. Bike riding, dress up for work for the next week. And fasting, wear Alabama hat to work each day for the rest of the quarter.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
That's brutal, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And like,
brutal.
so it's a legit contract with signatures and everything. Insane.
I mean, that's a good way to, like, you got
And
consequences.
you have to make the consequences, like, significant, like you said.
Yeah, because I saw a video a guy put together where if he didn't reach his thing, he had to pay his wife $10. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter. Like, $10 doesn't matter.
I feel like the first $10 won't matter. And then once you're like, fuck, like, I just paid my wife $100 because I won't do this stupid thing. But if you just paid your wife $100 once,
You would learn right away.
you would learn right away.
That's just it. Once it's got to hit a significant amount where you go, fuck, dude.
So here's some advanced tactics. These I kind of liked.
All right.
So he suggests getting a personality test.
Yeah.
Because genes can predispose, but they do not predetermine. So, like we said, genetics always plays roles in everything.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about Olympians, right? If you switched... Oh, he had some good examples. But we could go with, like, Michael Phelps. And then there's a runner who's, like, shorter. But has, like, long legs or something.
Okay.
And Michael Phelps has a really long torso and long arms.
Yeah.
So his body's amazing for swimming.
Yep.
The other guy's is amazing for running.
Right.
So if you swap them in their sports,
They would suck dick.
no matter how hard they worked,
Yep.
their genetics is hindering them.
Yep.
So he does suggest taking behavior or personality tests to really help you determine like which route to go in.
Uh-huh.
Which I did take one upstairs. He has links to them on his website once again. I think it's atomichabits.com/personality or something. Have a reflection and review. This I want you and I to do. Every time we make a decision, we have to write it in a journal.
Okay.
So we have to record the major decisions each week. Why you made them, what you expect the outcome to be. And then review them at the end of the month or year to see where you were correct and wrong.
Okay.
How cool, how interesting would that be?
Yeah. Okay. So you write in your journal for a decision you made up, review it at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter?
He says at the end of the month or the year, whatever you
Okay,
prefer.
in a month, and see if that decision worked out or not.
Correct.
Fuck, dude. That'd be crazy.
Think about some of the decisions we've made in the past month or two.
Oh my god.
And how some of them, like, literally just yesterday, we had an epiphany about how wrong those decisions were.
Wow. That'd be so beneficial. And that happens so much with us trying different things, implementing new things, and see just how wrong.
And so that would also go along, like, with the lessons journal.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we could have proof, like, right? Like, if we had a decision journal that we only wrote
Our decisions.
our major decisions we made,
Well,
and then
yeah.
we could write notes in after them being like, this was wrong because of X, Y, and Z. And then if we get back to that decision at some point, we can go back to the journal and be like, okay, this is why this decision was wrong at this time. Do we think it's better now, or do we think it's still going to be wrong?
Dude, highly successful people do that.
Yeah.
They might not do it in that exact way, but they like have fool me once, shame on me, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't remember it or track it or write it down the second time, it's on them.
And this one that we just had epiphany about,
Yep.
definitely on you. Because it was the second time you've made that decision.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
And it's the second time you've said, I don't like this.
Yep. Dude, honestly, it's because when you do these, people are so easily influenced by other people.
Yeah.
You can know something in your mind, and enough people can talk you into something else. And then you notice or realize, like, God damn it, this is my fault for letting people influence me or putting myself in this situation to let others influence me.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's really hard too, like, when people aren't in the same situations as you, or in the same field as you.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, most businesses probably do run the same, like, system-wise, or, like, this employee does these responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also, like, the points of, like, just, like, the general, like, the overall concept of stable living versus Toots home improvement, way different. Like, the day-to-day decisions you have to make are
100% different.
Don't even relate.
No. Well, and that's Ryan and I would run that all the time, talking to people, because, the number one issue we had was, like, recruiting and retention of employees. And we would be talking to the average person and be like, this is our issue, this is our issue, this is our issue. And they'd be like, oh, well, would it help to get more sales? And it's like, no, dude, no, like, sales has nothing, we don't have to worry about sales. Sales come regardless.
Right.
And most people, like, so Toots home improvement, that main thing I'm worrying about on that side is more sales, or more projects. That was not really a concern for stable living ever, because the work's there.
Yeah, you had all the income, all the sources you could get.
Yeah.
But you couldn't get more until you had more employees working for you.
And that stuck around and did the job right. Yeah, and then you talk to other people and they'd be like, oh, well, could it be this marketing? Like, no, you guys don't understand. That has nothing to do with our issues. Zero.
Yeah, stable living
dude, that was a lot of time in, like, masterminds and shit. People be like, well, what about this? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, stable living is a whole different beast on its own. Like, honestly.
Then majority of companies, 100%.
Yeah. Besides, like, the top part of the company, that is probably going to be pretty similar to most companies.
Oh, yeah.
But the day-to-day tasks, nothing compares to that besides a hospital, like, other healthcare things. But even some, like, healthcares, they're not open 24/7.
No.
I mean, hospitals are, but, like dentist office and places like that, they're not open 24/7. That's one thing that made it really hard.
I'm trying to think of other things that you don't even have to, like, I guess sales aspect, marketing aspect was crucial for the first year and a half by just getting our name out there, and then everything after that was word of mouth. I guess actually that could relate to, like, a big company like Andy Frisell talks about that. They don't have to market for First Form at all because they built such a good product, and now everything they have is, like, word of mouth.
All they have to do is make sure their standard is the same. Right? It's still good or great.
Yep.
So you just have to make sure that standard is always upheld, and you'll keep getting more and more.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That I guess is a way to, like, to a product company. So I mean, really.
I mean, stable living, their product is the care that they're giving every day.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, if you think about it, like, stable living just reached a high level place a lot sooner in the aspect of marketing and sales than most companies. And then. But
stable living's marketing is a lot different than other places because you don't market to outside people. Like, you just have to, whenever there was an opening, you had to contact case managers that you've worked with before and be like, hey, know of anyone that needs a placement? So you just market to the people you've worked with before.
Yep. Yeah, it's really just referral based, like building a good name and the referral from there.
Yeah. But, yeah, so Yeah, I mean, that's completely different than habits.
We got off the habit track for a minute.
But that's okay.
And to really just, businesses are different.
Right. But so it'd be related to decision making.
Right.
So I think, today's May 1st, so we can start a decision journal today.
Right. For decisions we make and follow that through and see how it goes.
Yeah. I love it.
I love that so much. Dude, because there's so many decisions we make. And
I would honestly be really curious for everyone in Mastermind to do that.
Yeah, it'd be really helpful.
It would be really interesting to see. Okay. This is another good quote I really like. Actually, it's not a quote, but it was just a thing from the book. Continue to grow and change. Don't let your habits keep you in a rut. So, by having good habits, makes it be like automated, right? So you just do it no matter what.
Right.
The issue with that is the more automation you have, the less likely you are to catch errors.
Yeah.
So he says it's a balancing act.
Okay.
Of having good habits, but still being vigilant while you're doing it, so you're still catching those mistakes. So that's something, I probably should honestly be careful of, because when I edit these podcasts, I do the same couple of things on every single episode. I don't listen to the whole thing. I listen to the beginning, maybe 10 seconds. So it'd be something I maybe should start doing is like jumping into the middle of the podcast, listening for 5 minutes to make sure that the middle is just as good of quality as the beginning.
Or like once a month you listen to a whole episode.
Yeah.
To pick out where things need to change or whatever. That's good.
I thought that was something that was interesting. And they also said...
Okay, say that thing again.
It was just continue to grow and change. Don't let your habits keep you in a rut.
Okay.
That's just how I paraphrased it myself.
Sure.
But another example he made was people not taking like advice or like
criticism.
Right. So let's say like a surgeon has been a surgeon for 20 years, but they don't want to pick up any new techniques that their younger colleagues have learned because they're too stuck in their ways. That was it. You have to be able to adapt your habits as times change or as technology changes and stuff like that. I thought that I liked that because
I like that a lot. We see that in our lives.
Oh yeah. Keep your identity small.
Okay.
Do you have any guess of what that could mean?
Keep your identity small. No.
So if you remember at the beginning, we said that there was 3 layers to changing a habit, right? And the last one was identity.
Yep.
So the more you let a single belief define you, the less capable you are of adapting when life changes you.
Okay.
So I like to compare it to people who define themselves as weed smokers.
Keep going.
So that's an identity.
Yeah.
But let's say, right, you have a kid. Something happens where you shouldn't smoke every day like you used to.
Yeah.
How hard is it going to be to stop smoking now that you identify as a weed smoker?
I love that. I love that so much.
So he suggests keeping your identity small, so when you do need to change like habits or anything, you have less restriction to change those things.
Okay.
So what do you identify yourself as? Oh, he does. Oh, actually, I'm gonna look this up because he does give a good example for what you define yourself.
What do I define myself as? Typically lazy.
Okay, I would go with an entrepreneur, by the way.
Oh, okay. I define myself as an entrepreneur.
There you go.
There we go.
I'm so proud of you. You got there.
Yeah.
How would you define me?
Hot.
Thank you. That was the correct answer, I would say.
That's the correct answer.
Okay. Let's see here. So instead of saying, I'm the CEO or an entrepreneur, you should say, I'm the type of person who builds and creates things.
All right.
So it's more of a broad topic.
I like that a lot more for one, arrogance purposes. But second thing,
You like this other example too, by the way.
Okay, go ahead with it.
I'm an athlete becomes, I'm the type of person who is mentally tough and loves a physical challenge.
Yeah.
So what's your second thing? I made you lose it, didn't I?
No, I'm not a big fan of like playing on your strengths only. You know, some people are like, forget all your weaknesses and just do your strengths. Mm-hmm. Though, I understand that's how you build a big company. That is a way to build a big company and flourish really well in your one field of potential, what you're best at. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be things in life that brings adversity to those people, and they won't be able to like do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they won't be able to perform a task or a duty because they haven't practiced any adversity. Right. They are only the CEO, right? They're incapable of everything else because they're the CEO. And what happens when their CEO business is no longer needed, or something, and they have to start over, and they don't have the same resources they had. Now they can't just be the CEO. Now they have to start from scratch, and that might mean they have to start towards the bottom and work up again.
So how much did that hinder you? Going from stable living to Toots Home Improvement? Because we kind of discussed that a little bit, is you like building businesses.
Yeah. Dude, I would say actually that kind of hindered me a lot by me just saying like I like to build, right, and do that stuff. When I switched from stable living to Toots Home Improvement, I know the progression I should take is just get in, do the work, and just like let things progress naturally. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, I have to build. So I spent a lot of time thinking about like hiring people and putting things in place so that like I'm just building and not like doing the tasks as much. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've been trying to like learn the balance between what things you should have subs do versus yourself do.
Yeah.
Because there have been some projects that Shaun and Kyle subbed out pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Which is good for right now because you guys have so many other projects.
Mm-hmm.
But how much is that going to hinder you down the road when you only have one project that you and Kyle have to do everything on?
Right.
And you haven't been using those skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to like, I don't know. I
just think it's good to like be open-minded about your identity. Like, these identities that he says are really broad. So the other example he gave was military veterans. So people, when they get out of service, they have a hard time because they say, I'm a great soldier. And they should change it to, I'm the type of person who is disciplined, reliable, and great on a team. Mm-hmm. And that helps them get over the fact that they're no longer in the military.
Right.
Like, they can go to any workplace and be disciplined, reliable, and great on a team.
Right. Oh, I see. Okay, so like my mindset and my thought was like, I build businesses, right? I should just I am a builder because I could build anything, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't need to be a business. Like, I can literally go do the building portion of whatever.
I'm
the type of person who builds things.
Right.
right?
Who builds and creates things.
Who builds and creates.
Because that can be in the literal sense of manual labor.
Right.
Or it could be in businesses.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I like that a lot more. Yeah.
But yeah, being able to be flexible helps you get around obstacles and challenges when they come.
Right.
Here's a quote from something I cannot pronounce.
Okay.
So I'm not going to try.
Okay.
Men are born soft and supple. Dead, they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant. Pliant? Pliant.
Okay.
No. Dead, they are brittle and dry.
Okay.
Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a discipline of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a discipline of life.
Okay.
The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail.
Okay.
So it kind of goes with it completely goes with changing, right? Being able to accept changes happening in your life. It's going to be a lot easier if you're soft and supple than if you're stiff and hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I love change so much.
Because you're soft and supple?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Okay, here's the last thing I got for you.
Okay.
We already talked about this. Whatever. The upside of habits is that we can do things without thinking. The downside is that we stop paying attention to the little errors. We already talked about that one.
Okay.
But I still think it's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I really like this book. I really do. It has a really cool ending to it too. So he has a newsletter, and every year he posts a list of his favorite books on a wide range of topics.
Okay.
So I thought that was cool. He gives some like little lessons in the end of it. Ooh, satisfaction equals liking minus wanting.
Okay.
So if you get $10 and get $100, you feel great. If you expect to get $100, if you expect to get $10 and get $100, you feel great. If you expect to get $100 and get $10, you feel disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but yeah, he has tons of like little things in the back. He has his website that has a bunch of things. Oh, also on his website, he has how to apply the ideas to parenting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't print that one out because we're not parents.
Mm-hmm.
But, so like, how can I get my kids to do this stuff?
Right.
Like, getting your kids to form these habits and like being able to accept change easier will help them so much more later in life.
You and I talked about that with homeschooling.
Yeah, we have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this book was incredible. I loved it. I probably will read this at some point again because I don't quite remember a whole lot of the stuff in the beginning of it since it was 8 months ago when I started.
I think you could just take something like the Atomic Habits and relate it to the 4-hour work week a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And really become a lot more productive so that you can do the things you want to do a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do those other things you want, like golfing.
Right.
Side-by-siding.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, seriously.
So what's your big takeaway from this?
My big takeaway, I guess, I like the little identity portion.
Yeah, I feel like that is something you and I both need to like accept, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what my identity is. Let's just go with that. I'm just kind of around, but I've always known I'm a hem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm a ha. Hem? Ha.
Hem doesn't do anything.
I'm a ha. There we go. So I do kind of need to maybe change mine to be like, oh, I'm more open-minded or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that it'll be fun for you and I to work on, is like embracing our identities, I guess, and like kind of figuring out what those are.
Sure.
I love the decision journal. I love it.
Yeah.
It's something I never thought needed to be done, but it needs to be done.
That Dude, that just helps so much in business and life.
Especially when you're growing a business.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're starting out, it is such a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then obviously the habit parts. I mean, I
a lot of the things I knew, but I like how he phrases them.
Right. I guess that's why those don't pop out as much as me, because like I know those things, or at least I've heard about them, saw them and shit, to know that like the 4 laws are like the steps you'd want to take to change a habit or build a new habit.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's where it kind of all starts, is getting a good habits and good systems, and then everything can grow off of that. And I guess just starting small.
Yeah. It's just, he gives so many like good examples throughout the book, and so many like little things that obviously I was not going to be able to tell all of you, especially in an hour and a half podcast.
Right.
And this is a longer episode already. But it's just very interesting. Like he breaks down like the whole mental game of it all. And it's just very neat. Like I said, it's stuff like I've heard and I've known, but just the way he phrases it and kind of like breaks it down was just so helpful, and just in a way that I haven't seen many people do. Right.
Well, it's nice talking about it, because then you really start to think of how you can implement that stuff into your life.
Right. So I think probably, I mean, today's May 1st. Maybe you and I should start a habit tracker of posting on Instagram, and we can like
put it into our calendar.
Right. Putting it in our calendar, putting it on our habit trackers.
Right.
So at the end of the month, we can look back and be like, oh, we actually only posted 4 times this month.
Dude, honestly, that'd be phenomenal if I posted 4 times in a month.
Right, exactly.
That would be great.
But without tracking it, how do we know that 4 times is better than last month?
Right. Yeah, dude, this is really tough. This is tough. It's going to be a continued discussion to make it a good...
I kind of want us to come back to this in December and talk about things we have changed, things we have implemented in our lives, and like where our tracking is at. Oh, we can do an annual review. Yeah. We'll answer the 3 questions that he has.
Right. It's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
Cool. That's what I got.
That's what I got. Next week, Monday, should we discuss how our 12-week year went and what we learned?
Sure.
Cool. So that'll be next Monday, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.